Good morning. I am making this video on a Saturday morning, fresh after you have finished Module 1 of your Stukent Mimic Social. I wanted to go over the results of everyone in the class and give you an idea of what you should be doing and not doing based on the results of what we've seen. So much of social media management is data driven, meaning that we're not just trying to guess about what works and doesn't work. We may have to start out doing a little bit of guessing, but then we look at the data and we determine what works and what doesn't work. It should never just be about what I think or what I feel. It should be about what I learn from the data. So let me bring up an Excel sheet and I will put this Excel sheet into Moodle for you so that you will be able to see it. And I have everyone's posts in here and all of the results from the whole class of posts. And I've taken your names off of it. So you don't know who did these posts. You just know what the posts were and what the results were. And I think we can all learn from this by looking at it. So first thing I want to do when I am going to be analyzing an entire spreadsheet is I want to be able to sort it. So first of all, I'm going to select the entire sheet by the top left triangle. Going to just click on that. Then I go to the top of the menu. I'm going to click on data, sort, and then I get this little menu here, and I'm going to sort by conversions now. If I click there, you see I have other things I can sort by as well, because we have all of these headers, but conversions is the one I want us to look at. Conversions are how many sales you made. Uh, Technically, it would be how many times people followed through on the action you wanted them to follow through on. And in this case, we're using sales for conversions. A conversion could be something else, such as how many times did people click on a link. That could be a conversion if that's what you were measuring. So, but we're measuring sales here. All right. And I've asked for it to be largest to smallest so that the most conversions will be at the top of the spreadsheet and the post with the fewest conversions will be at the bottom of the spreadsheet. So click OK, and I had already sorted it, so it's sorted. If you look at column S, this is our conversions. And so you can see that our best performing post in the last week had 155 conversions. So 155 sales. And the revenue, column T, was $6,231. Now, this actually isn't the post that made the most money. This is just, I have it sorted by conversions. So this is the post that converted the most. A couple other things I want you to look at as we're looking at this list. So I can also see on here, was this a promoted post or not a promoted post? Did you pay for it basically, or did you pay for some of it? Well, how much did it cost? So this post cost $302. Impressions, how many times was this post seen? And it was seen 59,304 times. How often did people engage with it? So this engagements could be a like, a share, a comment, something like that. So it had 392 engagements, 200 I guess, and they're putting out shares separately. So 232 shares. People clicked on it 538 times. And in some cases, you may just be wanting to drive traffic. And so your conversion could be a click. But in this case, our conversion is sales. Okay, so we had 538 clicks, which for a click-through rate, 0.91%, which is great. And then cost per click, how much did it cost us to reach each person who clicked? And it cost us 56 cents for each person to to get them to click through. All right, so that's our basic information here. Now let's look at this post and what it had in it, because this might give us some information about what works and what doesn't work. First thing I want to notice at that this is a Facebook post. It tells me that it's that's the platform, and it was done on a Monday at 5:30 in the evening. The audience was Daypacker Tom, which is a male audience, 18 to 26, and we have lots of keywords. So backpacking, hiking, outings, travel, day pack, day trip, Tennessee, Eastern Tennessee, hiking in Tennessee. It had an image. Now I can't see what the image was, unfortunately. I wish I could, because for posts that don't do well, I might be able to tell you why they're not doing well if I could see them, because sometimes it's a poor choice of image that creates a problem. And so so I can't see the image. All right. So for what the post said, and here I am just going to draw this down so you can see what the text of the full post was. What are the top 3 day hikes in Eastern Tennessee? Bowie suggests Star Mountain, Benton Falls, Gee Creek, and then we have some hashtags here. So that's what the post said, and that was our most successful converting post. Let's take a look now at actually, before we go too far, I want to also point out that the person did the same post, but on Instagram. And this was also a very high converting post on Instagram with 142 conversions. So I thought that was interesting. Now it costs less per conversion. However, we had a lot more impressions with fewer people responding. So only 0.41% responding. So we can see that Facebook was a better audience for this than the Instagram was, although you really can't argue with it being the 4th best post. So it's not like it was a bad post on Instagram. It was still a great performing post on Instagram, just not quite as good as it was on Facebook. That's all. All right, so now we're going to select this, and I'm going to sort it by something other than conversions. Let's do revenue. Let's see which post made us the most money. And I'm going to tell it to sort from the largest to the smallest. All right, so the post that made us the most money was $7,601. And if you can see, we had 76 conversions, so it was less conversions, but they bought more product, essentially. It cost us $215 for 344,000 impressions, 22,000 engaged with it, 4,500 shared, and we had there are a little bit more than 2,000 clicks, and our click-through rate was 0.59%. But look at this, our cost per click, CPC, cost per click, was only 11 cents per click. That's really, really cheap, so that's fabulous. Now let's take a look at what this post was. It was an Instagram post, November at 3 o'clock. It was designed for Seaside Sally, which is a female 18 to 26-year-old audience. You can see the keywords: ocean, coast, coastal, sailing, sea, vacation, sightseeing, swimming, boating. And here we have the best beaches for a fall getaway. And notice that she says, according to Bowie. And then we have the names of the beaches there. So couple things we're learning, and this is where we'd want to test in future rounds, or if you're a social media manager with future posts. Let's see if we can replicate this kind of thing. Do another Instagram post on a Thursday at 3 o'clock to Seaside Sally. Keep a lot of it the same, or same idea. Try best beaches, but instead of doing South Carolina, Virginia, Alabama, maybe go Pacific and do the West Coast. And do that, but don't include the buoy name and see what you get. And then try it again and use the buoy name. See if it makes a difference if you get if you're getting higher scores because we're using the brand name in there as opposed to forgetting the brand name. So those are good things to test out. Is it that we have specific content like the beaches, like the hikes? Is that what is making these to perform so well in the simulation? Or is it the brand name that's helping it perform so well? Is it the time of day, the evening? She's done late afternoon and evenings. So is that what's doing it? And she certainly is using the right keywords for the audience, because we have this one with Seaside Sally, so we have lots of the seaside keywords or the audience interests. And for Daypacker Tom, she had also the same types of appropriate keywords for him. So all of these things are working together very well. And so these are the types of things that you should try doing, and make sure that for a picture you choose. So if you have a beach, an image, when you have this beach text, it would be a good idea to have something that's beach, coastal, water that would be appropriate. And for Daypacker Tom, it would be good to have an image that would be hiking, trees, mountains, male kind of thing that's in there as well. Make sure that your image matches. And I'm guessing probably these images matched pretty well. All right, so those are some of the things that worked well. And if we just kind of go down and let's just kind of look at time of day of the things that did well. We have a 3 p.m., 5:30, 4 p.m., 5:30, 3:45. So those top ones are all late afternoon, early evening. We do have a 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 3 p.m., 3:45, 1, 1, 1, 12. So we go down, our top 15 are all in the afternoon, with most of them being late afternoon, although there's a few 12 and 1s. It's not until we get to the 16th post that we have morning ones that are doing well. So that's something to pay attention to, so maybe mornings don't perform as well in general. Not that they can't ever perform well, but they're not as likely to perform as well. Now, let's also take a look that our top ones generally have defined age ranges. So our top 11 are, actually all but number 7 are defined. Number 7, we have a very broad age range, 18 to 60, male and female. Most of the other ones are more defined. The more defined you have an audience, the more likely you are to do well. If you target a particular audience and you create your content, your keywords, your post, your image, everything that relates to your audience, you have a better chance at reaching them. Just to give you an example, I did the simulation last year before I ever taught it, because I wanted to play around with it and I wanted to understand it for myself. And when I was reaching it was the mother audience, and I forget now, maybe it's energetic. No, it wasn't energetic Jill. It was the little bit older female demographic who is the mom. And when I was targeting her, I started putting in some things like recipes and cooking into the keywords and bringing that into it. And my results really shot up because I was targeting to an audience that liked those things, and I was making my posts apply to those. And it worked really well. So play around with that. Make sure you're creating audiences in your simulation so you don't have to type in your audience each time, but that you've created it and you can just select it. All right, so let's take a look at the ones that didn't work so well. And there are about 5 little bit less than 500. Oh, okay, just a little bit more than 400 posts that we had total. And so when we go to the posts that didn't do as well, so these are posts where we had that didn't make any money. There is no revenue, which is column T was revenue, column S was conversions. And so our last 20 posts or so didn't convert and didn't have any conversions. So it's always good to take a look at these and see what is going on with these. How can we explain what's happening? Now for some of them, our bottom two were not promoted. And you'll find in Stukent that it is definitely weighted towards promoted posts. You can have that organic, non-promoted post that does well, but it's not as likely. And since you have a budget, go ahead and use your budget fully, each time you do your round. And then you could do a couple non-promoted posts, but make sure you are using up your complete budget and then just play around with the non-promoted posts. And so a bunch of these were non-promoted. Now you'll see that they tried to be promoted posts, but there's $0 taken out. So we have this one here. And so promoted, $0. Now this means that the student tried to promote it, but it didn't actually work. And which platform was this one on? This was meant to be a Facebook post, and it did not end up charging. So what happens is that Facebook has an algorithm that it runs when you submit a promoted post or an ad. So basically, it will take a look at what it calls inventory. And inventory are all of the users who might see your content if Facebook chooses to show it to them. So they'll look at all this available inventory, all these users it could show it to, and it is going to take a look at the quality of your post and give you a quality score based on the image or the video. It's going to look at your headline. It's going to look at your body copy, the caption, and it's going to look at the time of day, that you're wanting it to be done right there, the days, and it is going to make a decision based on those things whether or not it has appropriate people to show it to. And if Facebook decides not to promote your post, not to show it to people, then it's not going to charge you. So what we have here is this person didn't pay any money because Facebook didn't end up promoting it, but it did get shown organically to some people. So that's why we have some people saw it, engaged with it, and clicked through. We just didn't have any conversions or sales from it. So that's what's happening. Just because you offer to pay for it to Facebook or Instagram doesn't mean they're actually going to accept the money. They're going to be making the split-second decision based on the inventory and the quality of your post. So just so you understand, that's what's happening there. So let's look what's going on with this Facebook post that they didn't accept it. So it's a Wednesday, 9 a.m. So mornings don't seem to be a great time. And we have a really wide audience here. So it's all gender and all ages, or most ages. I can't remember how high the age goes up in the simulation. So it's not targeted at all. It's in the morning and it's not targeted, and there are no keywords or interests here. So you're not giving Facebook any cues of who you want this promoted to. Facebook is like, yeah, we don't know who you want us to show it to, so we're just not going to show it at all because we don't want to annoy our users by showing things that they don't like. So here also, so the captions or the headline says hump day getting you down, comment your favorite class of your semester for motivation. So this is copy that is designed for students, but our age is 13 to 70. So there's a problem here. And Facebook will have recognized this problem, that they're not going to be showing it to 70-year-olds because they're unlikely to be commenting about their favorite class of the semester. So that copy with that age probably, and no keywords, that probably explains a lot of the problem, and then the time didn't really work out very well. Now, a couple other things. So we have another one down here. 5 p.m. is a good time in general, and we'll talk about how do you know what's a good time soon. But what we don't have is a targeted audience. Again, it's to all gender, all ages, essentially. There are no keywords. If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you choose? So that's actually, I think, a good headline. That's a good way to try to get people engaged with the question. So I like this headline. We just need to get some keywords in. Let's get, travel. Let's get flying. Let's get vacation, world, world traveler, all sorts of keywords we could put in there, dream, things like that, that we could do and see if that would get us some better options. I can't see the image, but I wonder if maybe the image wasn't well chosen, but I just don't know if that was the case. All right. So other things to notice here from our lower ones, we just have a lot of these all gender, all ages in the lower, and that's just not as likely to target well. And when you don't have keywords, it's not going to work. Now this one, let's look at this one here, because we do have a specific target, Daypacker Tom, male 18 to 26, and we have good keywords, and we have a headline, in nature, the rule of thumb is essentials only. I think perhaps the Stukent simulation algorithm found this headline confusing, would be my guess, and it didn't know what to do with it. And so it kind of mimicked what Facebook would do, not being able to figure out what it meant, chose not to do well with the promotion. And actually, it did show it to a number of people. We had 52,000 impressions and had a number of engagements, but it didn't do well at converting anything. So I don't know what the image was, but I wish I could see the image, because I would be curious what it is, and maybe it didn't make sense. But also, with that caption, but also maybe people just don't know what to do with this. So what are essentials? So in nature, a backpack is not an essential. That would be something extra. So maybe it's kind of at war with your product here, that it doesn't work. All right, so that is how you want to look at these analytics and take a look at not only your results, but look at the spreadsheet and look at everyone's results, and go ahead and use other people as inspiration, use their work as inspiration. Don't copy and paste what they did, obviously, but use their ideas and kind of transform them into your own and see how well that works. I think you'll find that you'll be able to get some more success there. Now, the other thing I want to do is to bring up Mimic Social in particular. And so right now we're looking at the students, at the professor side of things. Let's see, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to actually show you here, I think I'm on the professor side, but I think it's the same for you, is you see this blue help button at the bottom? Use this. And I mean, use this. So I'm going to pop back on the screen here for a minute. Go ahead and use that help button. It's really useful. So let's say you weren't real happy with your results. I click on that and I just could put in something like, how do I improve social? Just to figure out my Mimic social score, because this is a There's a lot of products that this help button is for, so social will help you know which product you're looking for, because they also have an advertising one, and there is marketing, there's a public relations one, there's a bunch of these. So how do I improve social? And I might need to, sorry, something about the way my computer's doing this that isn't working. There we go. All right. So you can find out things like when is the best time to post in Mimic Social. So let's take a look, because in social media management, you will want to know the best time. And if you're just going to go to the internet to find out the best time, you're going to get a lot of different answers. In fact, let me just show you some different answers that you would get here. So if you go into Google and you go into the best time to post on Instagram, you'll come up with a number of different things. So for instance, you will find Sprout Social, and Sprout Social, great. It's a great resource. They're similar to Hootsuite, so we're not using them because they don't have the strong student program, but you'll see they will give you information. So what are the best times to post on Instagram? And they'll give you this information here, in which you can see that the darker red are the times that they found for people who use Sprout Social to manage social media. These are their strongest times. So their best times tend to be in that lunch hour, where people are the most engaged. So they're saying Tuesday 11 to 2, Monday through Friday at 11. But we don't want to use this for us, because this really has to do with your particular client. Your particular client is going to have their own group of days and times that will work the best. So Boohie will have its times that work best for it, and it is going to be different than Sprout Social's general consumers. Let me just give you another idea how many times you can get here. And let me show you another one from Later. I use Later scheduling software for my own social media accounts. Um, I pay for this because I find that it's very useful for what I need to do. It's one of the less expensive paid scheduling softwares for social media. So they say the best time is 9 to 11 in the morning. And actually that works out pretty well with one of my accounts, that's a pretty good time. Uh, but that's not to say that that's good for everyone. So now let's go back to Mimic and the best time to post to Mimic Social. And they're going to give us some information about Boohie here, because you want to know for your particular client what the best time is. And if you go to your statistics in your Instagram account or your Facebook account, you can find when your audience is online. They will tell you in the past week what are the days and hours that they've been online more. So they are going to tell you that Instagram 4 to 6 is the best time for their audience. Facebook 2 to 4 is the best time for their audience. And so they have this here. So you can find that in this help button. It's also available in the simulation. So and it shows you how you could go down in the simulation to find it in there. But let's look at a couple other things. So when is the best time to post? Why am I getting poor results? So you could take a look at this, and post quality is the thing that they say is one of the most important things, and having your headline, your caption match your video or your image. That's also important, that you want to have those to match. Don't post too many times a day, and don't post multiple times within the same hour. So pay attention to those types of things. So there are different things that you could type in here that can get you extra help. Now, other things, let me just pull up, let me stop that share again. And I'm going to pull up the Excel sheet again. And this time I want us to look at I'm going to stay at the bottom here. Let me scroll down back to the bottom. And we're going to take a look at the platform, column B, and which platform had the lower performing posts. Now, some of them, we know there's a problem. We're targeting too large of an audience at without having keywords in some cases, or maybe we're doing it in the morning, which isn't when those people tend to be on there. Notice we have some YouTubes down here at the bottom, some Pinterest down here at the bottom, LinkedIn. Okay, and now I want to go to the top and see what are our top performing platforms. Instagram, Facebook, we have one Twitter in the top 10. We have one Pinterest in the top 20. You can see a lot of Instagram and Facebook are here. For Buoy, these are top performing platforms. And so think about that when you're posting, because you want to know for your client which platforms work the best. It's not that Instagram and Facebook are great for all clients. No, they're good for some clients and they're very good for many clients. But you may have a client where YouTube is going to blow it out of the park. But here we don't even have a YouTube in the top 100. When's the first time we find YouTube? And I'm going to do a basic search here and see if I can find the first time that we see YouTube. All right, our first YouTube is the 200, and this is our best performing YouTube, so that's why I'm saying it's the first one, is the 207th post. So now it could be that this post wasn't good. I don't know. It was Monday at 12, and I would have to go back to see when YouTube is supposed to be good, which I'm actually going to go back and take a look real quick. When is YouTube's ideal hours? YouTube, it says 1 to 3 are the best hours. So where are we here? 1 to 3. So it's a little early. And maybe, I mean, so parts of it look good. Look, we have good terms here. It's a video, which of course would be important for YouTube. We have the brand name. We have hashtags. These are all good things. And so it looks like some good choices were made here with creating the post. And it made $198. And it only cost $22. So, not bad. So there's, a good return on investment there, ROI. You spend 22 and what is that, nearly a 9% increase. So, not bad. It's just that YouTube isn't Buoy's premier platform that they use, that people are using. And neither is LinkedIn. LinkedIn, we see it earlier. We have top LinkedIn's earlier, but they're just not as many in the very top of the LinkedIn. And I think the LinkedIn, I think we have some in the top 100, but it's getting close to 100. No, so it's not in the top 100, perhaps. It might be 122 when we get our first LinkedIn. So again, it's just not their top platform that they use. And here they spent $350 and they have revenue of 800. So they more than doubled what they spent. So not bad. I mean, you kind of made your salary that day with that one. So it's not bad necessarily. It's just that LinkedIn probably isn't their top platform. Pinterest we do see on up here, and some of the Pinterest can get you some good results. So we have a Pinterest here one, and let's take a look. We spent $500 here and made 3,000. So what do we have? You made 6 times what you spent, something like that. I'm not a math person, but I try. So again, you more than paid your own salary that day and made money for the company. So good, throw those things in there, but I wouldn't do like 10 Pinterest posts or something like that. So I wouldn't do too many like that. So just think about these things. People want to know, how many posts should I be doing? And I would say generally, businesses, you want to post 5 to 7 times a week on each platform. So once you are working on this and you see the platforms that are performing well and that you want to focus on, get the 5 to 7 posts a week. And that's what you would be doing kind of per round, that per platform. So that wouldn't be five posts a week in 5 posts per round in Stukent. That would be 5 posts per Instagram, or 5 to 7 posts per Instagram, 5 to 7 for Facebook, 5 to 7 for Pinterest, 5 to 7 for Twitter. So that's how you're going to make the decision of how many posts that you need to do in a round. Good luck. Work on your next set of rounds for module 2, which will be it will be 7 through 12, I believe, something like, or 7. I don't know. It's 6 more rounds. So work on that. I think it's 7 through 12. Work on those. I hope it goes really well. Please feel free to ask me questions, and I will try to help you as much as I can. And what I love about this is you're learning so that if you go for a job in social media management, you will automatically understand how to read those spreadsheets and be able to know from the spreadsheet what's working and what's not, or at least to be narrowing in and figuring out what works and what doesn't work, because social media management is data driven. What works and what doesn't work by the numbers. Good luck.